Okay lang ba sa lola mo nagpa-practice tayo dito?
Okay lang, no? Hindi nga tayo pinapansin.
Artista pala siya.
Sikat daw yan dati eh.
Game, practice na.
Isolated. Yet connected. Distant. Yet closer than ever. It's not a wrap. But a fresh new start. Together once more. Soon, QCinema International Film Festival. One city to the world. One city with the rest of the world.
Pag-usapan na natin kung bakit tayo nandito.
Tulad sa pelikula, tayong lahat ay may role na dapat gampanan laban sa pandemya.
Kaya natin to.
Stay at home.
Hello? Saan ka?
Nandito lang sa bahay.
Huwag na muna kasi kayong lumabas-labas ng kwarto nyo. Dito na lang muna kayo. Tiis-tiis na lang muna, okay?
Chance mo na para maging creative.
Nag-enjoy ako sa pagiging
artist.
mag-workout,
Sa mga ganitong sitwasyon, dapat laging gumagalaw.
eat healthy.
I have for you!
Kung kailangan lumabas, mag-social distancing.
Lumayo ka.
Maski papano, maging praning. Clean and disinfect.
Sorry, ito na yata yung kamay ko.
Maligo ka muna bago tayo kumain, ha? Yung banyo, linisin mo, ha?
At higit sa lahat, kung may nararamdamang simptomas, magpatingin agad.
Ikaw, nakapag-check up ka na ba? Parang nilalagnat ka. Minsan I hear you breathing so heavily, ha? Like...
Movies, parang life. Sa health, walang take two.
Hindi naman tayo handa talaga sa mga ganitong pangyayari.
Walang forever. Kahit itong virus. At sa mahusay na pagganap, makakamit ang magandang ending.
Meron namang moral lesson. Kung paano ka didiskarte sa emergency.
Precisely. Kasi all the signs are there.
Wow. Deep.
Hugot na paalala mula sa QCinema International Film Festival.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us here at the QCinema 2021 press conference. My name is Pinky Aceron, and I'm your host for today's event. I am so happy to see so many familiar faces. And of course, for me, this year, or any other year for that matter, is not complete without QCinema. Okay, we're grateful you have been with us since we started in 2013. Can you imagine? Time sure flies just by. Welcome to all of you. Before we begin, I just have a few reminders for all of you. First, kindly mute your microphone. We want to keep background noise to a minimum. You will all have an opportunity to ask questions. You can either post them at the chat box, which we are monitoring, or ask later during our press con proper. Next, please turn your video on during the press con proper. And finally, we also would like to inform everyone that we are posting a recording of this press conference on our Facebook account and YouTube channel. There you have it. Okay. Moving on, filmmaking has been overtaken and overwhelmed by pandemic developments. Yet the industry needs to reel up from its battered condition. The passion must be renewed. Challenges must be overcome. The great rebound is on. QCinema leads the way. This year, we jumpstart and spark a new momentum. Welcome all to QCinema 2021. This year, following the lead of many international film festivals, we present again a hybrid edition. The festival, slated from November 27 to December 6, will be a mix of in-person screenings and online streaming. It is so timely that cinemas opened their doors last November 10. Our theatrical screenings will be at Gateway Cineplex 10. Strict health protocols will be followed, of course, which includes social distancing and the wearing of face masks. Following the rules set by the Cinema Exhibitors Association of the Philippines, all guests are required to be fully vaccinated, and we will not allow eating inside the cinemas. Our online streaming is via KTX. I know most of you are already familiar with this platform, but in case you have questions later, we have a representative from KTX to answer them. Lastly, we will have online talks and other intimate in-person events. Details will be posted on our social media accounts soon. Now, the moment you all have been waiting for. Here to introduce QCinema 2021 lineup is QCinema Festival Director, Mr. Ed Lejano.
Hi, everyone. So many of our social media followers have requested this film. Here it is. Our opening film is acclaimed director Apichatpong's Sethakol's Memoria, Cannes Film Festival 2021 Jury Prize winner and the Colombian entry to the 94th Academy Awards. Here is the trailer now.
It's like a rumble from the core of the earth. Bang! And then it shrinks.
This is probably 6,000 years old.
Oh.
Yes. Drilled into her head to release bad spirits.
This is the Thai director's first English language film and the film's Southeast Asian premiere. Aside from Memoria, we will also have our lineup for Gateway Cineplex 10 screening other much acclaimed films. And let me present and I will present them to you now. Here's a preview.
Come take my hand and see the world around you. The time is right, just let the lights surround you. And step by step you feel it coming alive. The feeling deep down inside and you've got nothing to hide. To reach the top you've gotta keep on moving. Don't let it stop, just gotta keep on moving. I know you're doing your best, you're stepping up from the rest. Just keep on
And for this section, Screen International, we have 6 films. The Worst Person in the World by Joaquin Trier will have its Southeast Asian premiere at QCinema 2021. The film premiered in competition at the 2021 Cannes Film Festival, with Renate Reinsve winning the award for Best Actress for her performance. It was selected as the Norwegian entry to the 94th Academy Awards. This film is co-presented by the Film Development Council of the Philippines. Another film having its Southeast Asian debut is The Box by Lorenzo Vigas. This is the first Latin American to win the Venice Film Festival's top award with a searing debut From Afar. This film won the Leoncino de Oro Agiscola Award at the Venice Film Festival this year. Venice Film Festival 2021 Golden Lion winner Happening by Audrey Diwan is having its Asian premiere at QCinema 2021. This is Audrey Diwan's second film, which is based on the 2000 novel of the same name by Annie Ernaux. This film is co-presented by the Embassy of France. Also making its Southeast Asian premiere is Vengeance is Mine, All Others Pay Cash by Indonesian auteur Edwin. This film won the Golden Leopard at the Locarno International Film Festival this year. Edwin is known for his 2 prior films, Blind Pig Who Wants to Fly and Postcards from the Zoo. QCinema earlier announced it is also hosting the Southeast Asian premiere of Ryosuke Hamaguchi's 2 films this year in partnership with the Japan Foundation. Wheel of Fortune and Fantasy premiered at the Berlinale 2021 and won the Silver Bear, while Drive My Car played in competition in this year's Cannes Film Festival and brought home the Best Screenplay trophy. Aside from this Screen International titles, we have other films in other sections. From our Rainbow QC section is Great Freedom by Sebastian Maisek, which is the Uncertain Regard Jury Prize winner at the Cannes Film Festival this year, and the Austrian entry to the 94th Academy Awards. This is the prison drama's Asian premiere. For our new section, New Horizons, is the Scandinavian folk horror film Lamb by Vladimir Johansen, which won the Cannes Uncertain Regard Award for Prize of Originality winner and the Icelandic entry for the 94th Academy Awards. We have 2 films under the section Special Screening. This is a biopic of a World War II holdout in the Philippines, which will have its Southeast Asian premiere. Onoda, 10,000 Nights in the Jungle by Arthur Harari is about a Japanese soldier who spent 30 years hiding in the Philippine jungle, unaware that World War II was over. The film opened the Uncertain Regard section of the Cannes Film Festival this year, and our very own Anjali Bayani is part of the cast. Also, from our special screening section, capping the list is Love Diaz Historia ni Ha for its Asian premiere. The John Lloyd Cruz starrer had its world premiere at the prestigious BFI London Film Festival in the UK. Aside from these films, QCinema will also present for free 3 films by Patrick Alcedo. These films are A Will to Dream and the short films They Call Me Dax and Am I Being Selfish?
Thank you very much, Mr. Ed Lejano. I now present to you Miss Manet Dayrit, President of the Quezon City Film Foundation. Let's please give it up for Miss Manet Dayrit.
Good afternoon, everyone. I now present, sorry, one moment. Under the Screen International section are My Salinger Year, The Great Movement, and Miracle. Berlinale 2020 opening film My Salinger Year by Philip Falardeau is a coming-of-age story headlined by Sigourney Weaver and Margaret Qualley. Set for its Asian debut is The Great Movement by Kiro Russo. The film won the Special Jury Prize at the Venice Horizon Awards 2021 and is the Bolivian entry of the 94th Academy Awards. Miracle by Bogdan George Apetri, which is the Warsaw International Film Festival 2021 Best Film, is having its Asian premiere at QCinema 2021. This crime drama film had its world premiere in Venice. Apples, Magnetic Beats, El Planeta, and The Playground will be part of the New Horizons section, which ushers debut films all over the world. Apples by Christos Nikou won Best Screenplay at the Chicago International Film Festival 2020. This film, which will have its Southeast Asian premiere at QCinema 2021, is the Greek entry for the Best International Feature Film at the 93rd Academy Awards. Vincent Mael Cardona's feature Magnetic Beats is also set for its Southeast Asian premiere. The film won SACD Award at the Director's Fortnight of the Cannes Film Festival 2021. In El Planeta, director Amalia Ullman stars in this film opposite her real-life mother. This film, which will also have its Southeast Asian premiere, won the Best Director Award at the Buenos Aires International Festival of Independent Cinema 2021. Playground by Laura Wendell is the Belgian entry to the 94th Academy Awards. This film won the Fipresci Prize at the Cannes Film Festival 2021. New section Asian Voices features new opus from the Asian directors. This includes Uni and Islands. Uni by Camila Andini, another coming-of-age drama, will have its Philippine premiere. This is Indonesia's official submission to the 94th Academy Awards. It won the Platform Prize at the Toronto International Film Festival of 2020. Islands by Martin Edralin, which tells the story of a Filipino immigrant, won the Special Jury Award at the South by Southwest Film Festival 2021. This is the film's Asian premiere. Also having their online streaming are The Girl and the Spider under Rainbow QC and Baboy Halas, and Suburban Birds under Netpack Reloaded. QCinema 2021 is hosting the Southeast Asian premiere of Berlin Prize winner The Girl and the Spider by sibling co-directors Ramon and Sylvan Zerker. The film world premiered at the Berlinale in the Encounter section and won Best Director. Baboy Halas was recently included in the Gawad Dekada para sa mga natatanging pelikula by the Urian Awards. This film by Bagani Fiola also won the Netpack Award at the QCinema 2016. Suburban Birds by Sheng Kui will also have a QCinema comeback. The film won the Golden Carp Film Award, Chinese, at the Faroe Island Film Festival 2020.
Thank you very much, Miss Manet Dayrit. Pagod na po ba kayo? Huwag po muna ha, kasi we still have our KTX lineup. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen, our KTX lineup. Certainly worth looking forward to. Before we move on, we'd like to make way for a message from the woman who has given much to make Quezon City a cradle of arts and culture. Let us all welcome Mayor Joy Belmonte.
Hi, thank you so much. A good day to, of course, to Mr. Ed Lejano and Ms. Manet Dayrit, and to all of our grantees and filmmakers, and to the members of the media who are with us today during this launch of QCinema 2021. Magandang araw po sa inyong lahat. 9 years ago, in a low-key event, I stood before members of the media to launch a new film festival here in Quezon City. We really did not have high expectations then, but our vision was clear, which was not only to nurture our young filmmakers, but also to very ambitiously create our own version of Cannes, Venice, Berlin, or Busan film festivals in this part of the world. Total, libre naman mangarap ng mga panahon na yon, so okay lang naman, di ba? I'm certain very few people expected us to last this long, as there were already a lot of other more established and well-promoted film festivals then. Naysayers would probably even have scoffed at the idea of labeling it international, thinking it was just a parochial event meant for residents of this one city. Well, here's the good news. Next year will be the 10th edition of QCinema International Film Festival, and it is now considered by film bloggers and critics as the country's #1 film festival, not just because it's popular, but because of the quality of its content and its offerings. But don't just take my word for it. No less than the manunuri ng pelikulang Pilipino, the top critics circle selected 4 QCinema films out of 11 to be given the Gawa Dekada sa Pelikula. These 4 films were Baboy Halas, Balangiga, Howling Wilderness, Women of the Weeping River, and Babae at Baril. What a feat for our 9-year-old festival to get 4 out of 11 awards. Modesty aside, QCinema is now starting to make its mark in the foreign film festival circuit. Ed Lejano, our festival director, has been receiving feelers from festival organizers and promoters from cultural capitals around the world. With regards to these happy developments, all I can say is that we must be doing something right. Kapag ang ginagawa mo ay taos sa puso at may lubos na pagsisikap, magbubunga na maganda ang lahat. I believe this personally as a public servant. I started on a happy note because we have had enough dismal news for a lifetime. Our cinema industry has been on a slump just like other industries. Our movie theaters have all been literally in the dark for at least 1.5 years. Ever hopeful, we keep looking for the light at the end of the tunnel. And now, as we are about to open the 9th edition of QCinema, there is indeed that light amidst the darkness. Now that the metro is on level 2 status, movie lovers can now go out and watch this year's QCinema offerings in selected theaters in Quezon City. Call it perfect timing. The theme for this year is Jumpstart, which is very timely and very appropriate. QCinema aims to ignite the spark that will set the stalled industry in motion. After all, we are dealing with the moving pictures and moving images. Let me express my thanks to the people behind the festival for their faith and courage in the resilience of cinema during these risky and uncertain times. In spite of the challenges and limitations, hindi tayo natinag, bagkus tayo ay lumaban. They know that even when we are physically apart, we can create a world together through the power and art of film. Dalangin ko na ang lahat ng mga mabubuting pangyayari na ito ay magtuloy-tuloy na so we can safely come out again and physically and figuratively embrace each other freely in this new normal. To the members of the media and Artsuki, the movie lovers and patrons, I sincerely thank you. Tanggapin ninyo ang aming taus-pusong pasasalamat sa inyong walang sawang pagtitiwala at pagtatangkilik hindi lang sa QCinema, kundi pati na rin sa mga manlilikha ng pelikula. And to our featured filmmaker grantees, thank you for rising above all odds to create your vision and craft and your unique stories which you will be sharing in the upcoming festival. We will ready ourselves to be submerged in your world, forgetting the worries of the moment. And before I end, I really am so proud to say, after looking at our notes, that Quezon City International Film Festival is the first film festival to make a comeback in theaters after a 1.5 year shutdown of the local cinemas. And apart from that, we are also, I believe, the longest running film festival to be fully organized and sponsored by a local government unit. There are others like us who started, but we were able to sustain it and to continue on with it. And we are very strong at the moment, still going stronger as the years will go by. So sa inyong lahat, maraming pong salamat at sana tangkilikin ninyo muli ang QCinema on its 9th year, and hopefully we will be good luck as marami pang ibang mga film festivals are set to follow after our footsteps as we finish opening and presenting our film festival for this year. No? So magandang araw muli at isang magandang hapon sa inyong lahat. God bless us all at mabuhay ang QCinema.
Thank you very much, Mayor Joy Belmonte, at mabuhay kayo. Please give our beloved City Mayor another well-deserved round of applause. Okay, hindi pa tayo tapos mga kaibigan because we still have our 2 shorts programs to be discussed once again by our Festival Director, Mr. Ed Lejano. Here is the preview.
This is the first time you're hosting 2 shorts programs, Asian Shorts and the competition section, QC Shorts. QC Shorts competition includes Skylab by Chuck Escasa, and I'll attempt to pronounce this next title, Ang Pangabagat nin Talakba Ha Likol by Maria Estela Paiso. I Get So Sad Sometimes by Tristan Perez. Mighty Robo 5 by Miko Livelo and Mick Vergara. Henry by Kaj Palanca. And City of Flowers by Seth Suarez. These 6 films received production grants from QCinema. Asian Shorts, which is an exhibition non-competition section, includes Dear to Me by Monica Vanessa Tedja, Sunrise in My Mind by Danesh San, New Abnormal by Sorayos Prapapa, and Live in Cloud Cuckoo Land by Vu Min Nia and Pham Huang Min Thi. It also includes the Philippine premieres of 2 much-awaited Filipino films, How to Die Young in Manila by Peterson Vargas, and the acclaimed Filipiniana by Rafael Manuel. Both programs will have theatrical and online screenings.
Wow, that was quite a lineup, huh? Did you guys count? We have 8 Cannes, 2 Berlin, 3 Venice, and 2 Locarno winners. And of course, let's not forget, we have 8 Academy Award entries. Thank you very much, Mr. Ed Lejano. So at this point, we now proceed to the press con proper. Let me just remind you that if you have a question, kindly raise your hand so I can acknowledge you. Just a reminder to turn on your video as well, unmute and briefly introduce yourselves before asking the question. Okay, so we now open the floor for your questions. Let's check our chat box. Have Miss Humility Javier of Star Cinema with a question.
Hello, good afternoon po. Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi everyone. So congratulations for this year's edition. Cinema is coming back finally after such a long wait. And since this is, the great cinema rebound, do you think that people have higher expectations now of their movie experience, let alone their film festival experience? And if so, how are you preparing for that? Or what are the ways that you're working to meet those expectations?
I guess I can try to answer it. Yes, with higher expectations, we also have our modest steps in jumpstarting the theatrical experience once again after 2 years. So QCinema this year is like a booster shot for the festival experience. After all, matagal tayong nawala, almost 2 years, right? Although last year we attempted a hybrid experience by having physical screenings in a semi-outdoor setting, and we also did streaming. But this year, we know that everybody parang people are there. QCinema is like a thirst trap for our festival followers all these years. So we tried to come up with a program that has both components, online and theatrical, in Gateway, streaming in KTX, and they're both priced the same way, 150 pesos only, very discounted. And so we gave equal importance to both platforms, streaming and actual screening or theatrical.
Thank you, sir. Looking forward to that hybrid experience. Many film festivals right now are doing that. That said, what do you have, or what message do you have for the first-time film festival goers, especially those first-timers for QC Film Fest? And the other side of the coin, what's your message to those longtime patrons, to those who are really fans and enthusiasts of QC International Film Fest?
Well, in all these months, you've been stuck down in lockdown mode. Walang choice but to watch, what you see on the platforms. QCinema is here. We'll give you the festival right in the comfort of your homes or right in the comfort of Gateway Cinemas. So these two options are there for you. We're starting modestly because before we used to have many cinemas, many venues all over NCR. But baby steps tayo ngayon. We're just limiting it on in Gateway and in KTX, one theater at a time. But sometime during the middle of the festival, we will move to 2 theaters while we have a different slate of films to be offered streaming. And feel free to ask questions also from KTX, how to access their exciting program.
Okay.
So hi. Go Hi, good afternoon everybody. I humility. On KTX, we're very happy to jumpstart the new normal with the hybrid concept of the QCinema International Film Festival. After 2.5 2 years, more than, at least KTX will be part of the move to this new normal. On KTX, Q Cinema will have its own section so that Q Cinema fans and film fans can enjoy the content that we will be offering through Q Cinema. So we hope that you support the live or the cinema run of Q Cinema and the KTX run, because we want to basically expand further the success and the supporters of QCinema. It's a great lineup. We're very impressed. We're very happy to be part of this festival, and we're looking forward to have all of you. See you.
Wow. Yes, thank you, sir. So as last question po, for the lineup, with our lineup right now, it's already successful. You're bringing all these films together, these filmmakers together, and their work. But what will it take for you to consider or to say that this film fest is successful? Like what are your own parameters or the expectations that you've set for yourself and your team to say that this event is successful?
Well, we can always say that the more tickets, the more views on the platform should be a gauge for success. But actually, in this new normal, being able to do this in our modest way in Araneta Center and nationwide on KTX, that's enough of an accomplishment. Na we're happy with that because we don't want, crowds to go at one time to the theater lobbies of Cineplex. We don't want people standing up in the aisles inside the theaters. So the measure of a success, I think, is how happy the people are with the programming, how prepared we are in the procedures for ticketing, for our promotions, the how clear the schedules are, and there are no major glitches. So that in the new normal is, we're happy with that. We don't need tentpole success like the new James Bond. Hindi naman kami ganung level.
Yes, sir. Well, thank you for that, and we all agree with you. We do think that just by bringing, the film fest back to the cinema and even like the KTX, it's all a big success. So congratulations, everyone, and we're really looking forward to this.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, we have a question here from Cinema Bravo for our esteemed panelists. It says here, what's the strong force that drives Q Cinema to bring in this number of award-winning and critically acclaimed titles in one single festival? Can you share with us how easy or difficult it took for Q Cinema to get the rights of these titles? Anybody from our panel, please.
Well, maybe Manet can share our experience in Cannes during the old normal when we tried to mingle and hobnob with distributors. Manet.
Yes.
And then I can segue.
Okay. Well, yes. Before the pandemic, we would really go to film festivals like Cannes and watch as many films as we can and hobnob with all the producers and whatnot, just so that we can get this lineup of award-winning films to screen here. And I would also say that we are so thankful to Quezon City and Mayor Joy for giving us, the budgets to bring in these films, because it's not cheap. It definitely is not cheap to put up a festival like this with the caliber of films that we have. And also, we also have some consultants who help us, tell us what films are out there and what are the latest films that are doing well in the cinema, in the festival routes. It's a lot. It takes one whole year to really come up with this lineup and a lot of discussions with all the different distributors. So hats off also to Ed Lejano, who does most of the getting of the films and programming for QCinema.
Okay, thank you very much, Ms. Manet Dayrit. Incidentally, ladies and gentlemen, we also have Mayor Joy Belmonte, who is also open to your questions. Okay, so in case you have any questions for our dear mayor, please feel free to ask them. Okay, we have a question here coming from Mars Calo of astig.ph. Okay, she says, this question is for Mr. Ed Lejano and Ms. Manet Dayrit. What is in store for this year's QCinema Recognition Night? Will it be similar to that of last year?
For this year, we have a very streamlined lineup of events. So what we are recognizing are our grantees, our QCinema Shorts grantees. The 6 of these filmmakers received 600,000 production grant, which was increased many times over. Thank you, Mayor Joy, for the budget. And because we increased the funding because of the protocols and the realities of lock-in shoots, kaya tumaas yung budget ng short films. So these are the ones we are recognizing for this year, because being able to make a film in this pandemic situation is already achievement enough. And thank you, Mayor Joy pala, for your support despite the many expenses that City Hall has to to give away to. Meron pa ring na set aside for QCinema.
Okay, thank you very much. At this point, we have a question for Mayor Joy Belmonte from Mr. Edwin Salyan. He says, being a city-based film festival, were you surprised at the kind of success and acclaim that its films enjoyed both at the national and even global level?
Is that Edwin? So I know actually. I'm enthralled and I'm ecstatic and I'm so happy, but I'm not surprised because Quezon City is the largest city really in terms of population in the whole country. It has always been the center for entertainment since the good old days, and it is but natural that when we mount something like a film festival, mediocre is not acceptable to us. It has to be outstanding and it has to be excellent. And the films that we support have to be of the highest standard. So I am not surprised at all. It is really what we want. Because here in Quezon City, my vision is to have a world-class city, to make our city comparable to great cities all over the world. We're trying to do that in all aspects: climate change, gender sensitivity. Now in HIV, we're very well known as one of the champions of that. So Quezon City would like to put itself on the world map, and cinema is just one way that we can do that. And we cannot do that if the films that we are supporting are not of excellent quality. So I am not surprised, but I am extremely happy because our goals are being met. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mayor Joy Belmonte. Here's another question coming from Michelle of Business World. She says, okay, sandali lang po. Medyo Okay. She says, how is the logistics and framework different from mounting an online, on-site, and hybrid film festival?
Okay. Thank you for that question, and I'm glad it's brought up because as late as October, we weren't sure exactly how to do QCinema this year, even if we had a lineup of films, but we had to negotiate for the rights months before. Pero as we know, the announcement for the reopening of theaters came like mid-October. So doon lang kami nagkaroon ng finality na yes, we can go theatrical. And streaming has always been there, and we understand how hesitant some people are still going back to the theaters, but there are protocols in place that that will help us make the movie watching experience safe and still enjoyable. And that's one of the logistical nightmare. We couldn't plan in advance, even if a festival like us, it's a whole year of planning, no? Pero we couldn't plan early enough because we had a deadline that we can pivot to theatrical and streaming late in the game. So, and one of the intricacies of film programming, ako lang pala ang programmer this year because of budgetary considerations. So you can blame me. There are different contracts for streaming and theatrical. So not all films are okay to go streaming. That's why their first preference is theatrical. And not many films that are streaming in KTX wanted to be streaming, but we had to make them understand that no, we are doing both. So it's a juggling act, but be very assured that the gems in our program are evenly distributed. There are Cannes winners, there are Venice winners, San Sebastian winners in streaming, and there are big winners in theatrical. So both bases are loaded.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Ed Lejano. We have another question here coming from Ms. Isa Iglesias of the Manila Times for Mayor Joy Belmonte. She says, how is the reopening of the cinemas in Quezon City so far? What are the adjustments still needed to be implemented? Mayor Joy.
So with regards to our cinemas in Quezon City, what we did when we first heard that they were going to be allowed to operate was that I assembled a team. No? This is the business permits and licensing department, members of our city health department, our building official, and this team went around to our different theaters to check on issues like ventilation, among others. No? Because as you know, we are very careful with regards to contexts that are described as part of the 3 Cs. These are confined, crowded, and close contact settings. And as you know, theaters can be all 3 of that if we're not careful. So the city government made us a list of protocols pertaining to addressing some of these things, but also the building official in particular went around to check the ventilation, because that is really important, because a theater cannot operate in Quezon City if it doesn't meet the standards that are set by the building official pertaining to good ventilation. Because that would mean that contagion is highly possible. No? So yan ang isa sa mga ginawa natin. No? And we have a safety seal. So if you are familiar with that, this is a seal that is given to establishments, including offices and commercial establishments, if they meet a certain criteria that we have set forth. No? And the safety seal is granted also to movie theaters. I don't know if this is done in all cities, but definitely in Quezon City, we implemented this safety seal mechanism. No? And so as last I heard from the building official, they have gone around and checked all of our theaters, and many theaters have already retrofitted and so are fit for operations, and definitely Gateway is one of those. No? Otherwise, we would not have selected Gateway as our venue. But also, we are grateful to the cinema exhibitors Association of the Philippines, or SEAP, because they themselves came out with protocols as well to govern the way that the theaters are supposed to be operating. And these include things like dapat alternative seating arrangements, dapat ay fully vaccinated yung mga manonood ng pelikula, dapat bawal kumain, bawal uminom, bawal magtanggal ng face mask, at yung percentage ng uupo sa loob ng theater is a certain number, certain percentage, no. Iba-iba yan depending on whether the general population has achieved herd immunity or not. In the case of Quezon City, I think mas mataas yung capacity na papayagan natin, simply because kahit enclosed siya, more than 70% of our population have already been fully vaccinated and may safety seal pa. So that's another 10% na allowed for seating inside. Now, in addition to that, I also want to point out, although sayang hindi kami nakahabol doon sa iba pang mga theaters kasi nga medyo nagkulang tayo sa oras, no. But a lot of theaters in Quezon City in particular already retrofitted their theater. So wala na yung malalaking grand theaters that can seat thousands. Yung ibang theaters na nakausap ko, they retrofitted and they renovated, and many of the theaters are smaller and can only accommodate a small number of people. And actually yung plano nila is they can even, families or groups can even rent out one theater for a set of people that can know each other already, para kung kailangan mag-contact tracing, magkakakilala sila. So speaking of contact tracing, we also require yung ating contact tracing pass, which is called the QC pass, in all of the movie theaters, no, including of course the gateway one where we will be showing our QCinema films. No? So this is just to reassure the public that we have done everything that we can to make sure that going back to the theater will be a safe experience for everyone concerned. Thank you for that question.
Thank you very much, Mayor Joy Belmonte. In relation to that, we have another question coming from JM of subselfie.com. Okay, it says there have been some incidents during this pandemic where authorities were surprised and caught unprepared with the swarms of crowds who have been excited to get out of their homes. Now, what protocols do you have in place in case there are incidents of overcrowding outside the gateway Cineplex cinemas? What protocols do moviegoers have to take note of before going to the cinema? Panelists?
Maybe I'll answer some of that and Ed can answer the rest of that. But in general, as the implementer of the IATF protocols, we have to make sure that everyone has their vaccination card, because that is primordial in the IATF guidelines, that pag enclosed siya, kailangan may vaccination card yung tao. So fully vaccinated yung tao. Tapos dahil siya ay closed setting, children that are not vaccinated will also be prohibited from entering the cinemas. No? So that's one, to make sure na safe sila. At pinanggit ko na rin, bawal magtanggal ng mask, so bawal kumain at bawal uminom pag nasa loob kayo ng cinema. At yan ay patakaran ng SEAP. Hindi nga yan patakaran ng city, pero patakaran yan ng SEAP. So it's even stricter. Now with regards to crowding outside, we have marshals already, both from the mall as well as from the city government, that will be outside of our theaters to make sure that the patrons will be practicing minimum health standards. No? So actually, kahit naman walang QCinema, meron naman talagang nagbabantay sa ating mga malls, because that's a requirement under the guidelines of the city government that malls should have marshals to make sure that social distancing is practiced in all parts of the malls. No? So kailangan meron yan. At ang ginagawa natin is we have a hotline. It's hotline 122. Tinatawagan ito ng public, the general public, because I cannot pretend to say that we have enough enforcers to cover 3 million people all over the city. No? Pero dito sa mga lugar na kung tingin natin magkakaroon ng crowding, we have asked the general public to cooperate with us. So we have constantly been meeting with the public and asking the public, please call 122. This is our hotline, at doon nyo isusumbong kung may napansin kayong crowding na dapat namin i-disperse o kailangan namin tugunan. No? So asking the public to participate. Second, our team na buong buo, this is our monitoring team, they go around all of these places, our parks, our palengkes, our malls, on a random basis to make sure na walang paglabag doon sa IATF protocols natin. No? At kapag may nakita silang paglabag, automatic yan may warning, at kapag hindi pa rin sumunod, ay there's the possibility na i-revoke ang mga business permits ng iba't ibang mga establishments natin. No? So, ganun din sa cinemas. I would imagine ang mangyayari dyan kung hindi kaya ng mall at hindi rin kaya ng ating mga enforcers na ilalagay dyan yung mga crowds, we might have to suspend the showing of our films. Pero sana hindi naman umabot dyan kasi we've had 1.5 years of practice at tingin ko we've handled far greater problems than this, especially when we were vaccinating our people in the face of fake news na pwede mag-walk-in, kung ano-anong mga fake news na kinakalat ng kung sino mang mga malicious intent na mga tao. Tingin ko kaya na natin tong i-handle kung sa cinemas lang naman natin yung pag-uusapan natin.
Okay, thank you very much, Mayor Joy Belmonte. Okay, we have time for one last question. This one is coming from Mel Navarro from Tempo.
Hello po. Hi, good afternoon. I have a follow-up question po kay Mayor. Hi, good afternoon, Mayor.
Good afternoon po.
Totoo po bang magbabawas na ang SM North EDSA ng number of cinemas na from 12 to 6 or 8 dahil nga po ginawa ng vaccination center for good?
Wala kaming, hindi namin ginagamit yung cinemas ng SM North EDSA. Ang ginagamit po namin sa SM North EDSA ay yung Sky Dome. Hindi po namin ginagamit yung kanilang sinehan. In fact, SM North EDSA, ang tinutukoy ko na sinehan, nung binanggit ko na may mga sinehan na nagbawas na, hindi naman nagbawas, pero nag-retrofit o kaya nag-renovate ng sinehan from having thousands of audience to those with very small numbers of audiences just so that they can meet the demands of the new normal. Pero hindi po namin ginagamit ang cinemas nila for vaccinating.
Thank you for the clarification, ma'am. So, bali, 12 cinemas pa rin po pag nagbukas na po sila.
Baka nga mas marami, hindi kaya kasi nagbawas ka sila ng upuan per theater, so that would mean more theaters. But I'm not sure, I'm just speculating. Baka kailangan sila na yung interviewin nyo about that.
Opo, kasi sa dami ng cinemas in QC, inihintay na po ng mga kababayan natin na magbukas na sinehan sa QC, sa SM. Anyway, and then
ang magandang balita, sayang no, hindi lang namin naabutan, but I want to mention kasi SM dati hindi namin nagiging partner, no, never namin sila nagiging partner. Pero this year actually, nung sinabi ko na matutuloy ang QCinema, they really courted the city government kung pwede silang maging partner ng city government. Kasi ngayon bukas na silang maging partner natin. Kaya lang na nahuli na yung usapan na yan, no? And we had already booked with Gateway. But I want to stress na, it looks like next year, we will be able to get all of the cinemas now to be showcasing all of the films of the QCinema International Film Festival.
I have a question po for Sir Ed. Hi, Direct Ed. Good afternoon and congrats po ulit.
Afternoon.
Napakabongga po ng inyong mga lineup. Sobrang mahal po ba ang presyo in peso? Umabot po ba ng 1 million or mahigit in peso ang pagkuha ng mga franchise ng titles na ito na nanalo sa A-lister international film festivals?
Yes, kasi isipin natin na limited capacity ang mga ang theater, and for 3 screenings. So,
3 screenings.
For a Cannes or Venice title, it goes up to thousands of euros per title and per screening. So there's a lot of backdoor negotiation that goes on, and buti na lang may konting budget, and also for sponsorships that we solicit from the embassies and from FDCP. So all those assistance goes a long way.
So kung 3 screenings po, Direct, meron din pong limited seating capacity per screening sa Gateway?
Yes,
parang
I think it's been increased to, correct me, Mayor Joy, is it 50% now?
50 na ba yun sa
It's supposed to be, hindi ko alam sa QCinema, pero in general po, yung rule is 50% ang indoor, Tapos, pag fully vaccinated ang population ng iyong lungsod, there's another 20%. Tapos kung may safety seal po, ay may another 10%. So actually, it's 80% based on the IATF's guidelines. No? Pero baka nga, well, I don't know, Ed, baka that's a little bit too much, 80%. So, pero based on IATF guidelines, 80% is allowable for indoor venues. Now, dun sa binanggit yung budget, I just, in the spirit of transparency, which I always practice, the budget for this year's QCinema is about 12.5 million pesos.
Wow.
In the past, our budget was about 20 million. Just to put things on record. No? 20 million siya dati, nagpo-produce tayo, nagtumutulong tayo sa mga filmmakers. Pero ngayon, dahil sa pandemya, we had to reduce the budget to about 12 million. Pero nonetheless, hindi po option sa amin yung hindi magkaroon ng film festival because ito po ay isa sa mga brand ng lungsod na pinagmamalaki po natin at inaabangan po talaga ng mga mamamayan ito. So, bagamat mas mababa yung budget ngayon at na-adjust natin yung content, still tuloy ang QCinema dito sa Quezon City.
At
Thank you, Mayor. Follow up lang, Sir Ed, kahit ba sa Cinepop hindi kinaya, although doon naman ang premiere natin, ay mga press preview natin, di ba? Pero at least kahit na additional lang sa gateway na dalawa man lang na theatrical experience ng followers ng QCinema, hindi ba kakayanin?
Hindi, kasi ang Cinepop is a micro cinema, so talagang 10 viewers lang siya at a time. So mahirap talaga. Pero
lalo na sa Trinoma, wala pa rin pong pag-asa sa Trinoma, sir. Kasi alam niyo naman yung mga proximity, yung biyahe ng mga tao.
Pero wala baby steps lang kasi kami. We're just doing one theater or maybe 2 theaters in Gateway for now. Bawi tayo next year. Kasi mahirap din maging, well, also excited to be the guinea pig of film festivals. And that's what QCinema is now. Kami yung dry run, and we happen to be an international festival, but we're hoping to rise up to the challenge and follow protocols and try to reach out to everybody that it's safe to come back to the theaters or stay home and enjoy streaming a festival like QCinema.
Super last na po, yung sa categories ng awarding sa shorts, meron ba dong best actor, actress din? Kasi parang last year, parang, hindi ko matandaan kung parang wala parang film lang and director and...
Yes, our awards for this
ba may
year...
acting performances na awards?
Walang naka-line up for acting awards. It's just best short, NetPac Jury Award, and Audience Choice, and Gender Sensitivity Award.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. Congratulations po.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Ed Lejano. Ito, super last question na lang daw. From Michelle Soliman, sabi niya, will there be a physical event for the recognition night?
We have a closing event, and that is a casual event compared to our previous closing events, where we award QC Shorts winners. But that's as far as recognition events are concerned. But we do have festival reception nights lined up. But more details on that later on.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Ed Lejano. And of course, thank you very much, Mayor Joy Belmonte and Ms. Manet Dayrit and Mr. Giancarlo Vizcara of KTX for gamely answering the questions of our friends from the media and the press. And thank you very much, everyone, for gracing today's press conference. And before we end, let me thank our partners, starting off with QCFDC, the Film Development Council of the Philippines, MTRCB, QCinema Film Foundation Incorporated, QC Tourism Department, French Embassy, Japan Foundation, the Embassy of the Kingdom of Belgium, the Embassy of Mexico, Embassy of Switzerland, Embassy of Austria, Gateway Cineplex 10, KTX, Novotel Manila Araneta City, Outpost, Blogapalooza, Cinema Bravo PH, Daily Tribune, Malaya Business Insight, Business Mirror, Cinehub, Film Geek Guy, Jeff Review, Unreal, When in Manila, La Cuachera Lovers, Film Police, Riders Inc. Pinas, blogph.com, Third World Cinema Club, Was Up, Click the City, The Bunk Collective, Cinephiles, and Rappler. And before we finally end this event, we'd like you to check out this QCinema PSA, which was directed by no less than our very own Ed Lejano. Okay, this year's QCinema PSA. Check it out.
Ayaw eh. Kanina ko pa nga inaanan.
Si Junior, hanapin mo nga siya.
Buong araw kasi kayo nagbababad sa TV eh.
Work from home nga eh. Ano pang magagawa natin habang nakakulong tayo dito sa bahay?
Wala naman ako ibang mapupuntahan. Hello?
Junior! 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 Ano ang gagawin natin? Junior!
Observe social distancing, please.
Bunso! Han!
No. Sorry. Miss ko to.
Junior, wag kang mag-joke na yun. Yung TV. Junior.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, thank you very much for joining us today. And we hope to see you all at our opening event on the 26th at Gateway Cineplex 10. Thank you very much and enjoy the rest of the day.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Ed. Thank you, Manet. Thank you, Pinky.
Thank you, Mayor.
Bye. See you. Bye.
Thank you, Manet.
Thanks, Ed. See you soon.
Ayaw eh. Kanina ko pa nga inaanan.
Si Junior, hanapin mo nga siya.
Buong araw kasi kayo nagbababad sa TV eh.
Work from home nga eh. Ano pang magagawa natin habang nakakulong tayo dito sa bahay?
Wala naman ako ibang mapupuntahan. Hello?
Junior! 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 Ano ang gagawin natin? Junior!
Observe social distancing, please.
Bunso! Han!
No. Sorry. Miss ko to.
Junior, wag kang mag-joke na yun. Yung TV.